She laughed about him in front of 12 people, and one of them was his sister. And when he found out what she said, everything changed fast. Let me set the scene for you. Our guy, let's call him just that, our guy is in what he thinks is a pretty solid relationship. Nothing flashy, nothing dramatic, just two people dating, trusting each other, building something. He's happy, or at least he thinks he is. Now, his girlfriend has a close friend who just got back from a trip abroad. Big deal, right? The whole friend group decides to celebrate. Originally, it's a party, but plans shift. Dinner at a restaurant, then back to someone's place for movies and wine. A classic girls' night, about 12 women total. Here's the twist though, and pay attention, because this detail matters more than you think. His older sister is part of that same friend group. She's close with the girlfriend. She's one of the girls, so she goes too. Our guy, he's completely unbothered. He kisses his girlfriend goodbye around 6 p.m., wishes everyone a good time, and settles in for a chill night at home. He figures his sister won't be back until midnight, maybe 1 a.m., if she comes back at all. He had absolutely no idea what was about to walk through that front door. Around 9:30 p.m., way earlier than expected, his sister comes home alone, visibly furious. We're talking door slamming, jaw clenched, won't look anyone in the eye, furious. The kind of angry that doesn't need an explanation, but also desperately needs one. He asks her what happened. She brushes it off. I'm just tired. I didn't feel well. He asks if she dropped the girlfriend home first. No, she snaps. She can take a cab. That's when he knew. Something happened at that dinner. Something real. Now, here's what you need to know about this sister. She's not dramatic. She's not the type to blow things out of proportion or make a scene over nothing. So, when she's this rattled, it means something actually went down. He lets it go that night, gives her Saturday. But by Sunday, he needs to know. She sits him down, looks him in the eyes, and says 7 words that nobody ever wants to hear. You're not going to like this, but listen. So, there they are. Sunday afternoon. Sister and brother sitting together, and she starts from the beginning. The dinner was great, she says. Good food, good energy, everyone happy to see each other. Then they head back to someone's place, throw on a movie. Hated it, turned it off halfway through. Couldn't agree on another one. So they did what a group of women with wine and no movie plan always ends up doing. They started talking exes, current boyfriends, relationships, intimacy, the whole thing. You know how it goes. One person shares something, then another, and suddenly everyone's spilling secrets they probably shouldn't. And that's when his girlfriend opened her mouth. Now, she wasn't even that drunk. That's the part that hits different. 2 glasses of wine. Maybe. This wasn't some blackout confession. This was a choice. She started talking about him. First, she joked about the fact that when they got together, he was a virgin, completely inexperienced, and apparently that was hilarious to her. She laughed about his early attempts at intimacy, the awkwardness, the uncertainty, all of it. Performed it for the group, like it was a bit she'd been workshopping. The room apparently loved it, but she wasn't done. Then she brought up something physical, something personal. She told the group about a slight curve, a natural variation in his anatomy that he had never once been self conscious about, never thought twice about, because she had never said a single word to suggest it bothered her. And now, here he is, finding out through his sister that his girlfriend had been using it as punchline material at a dinner party. She also mentioned he finishes too fast and makes weird sounds. His sister stops talking, looks at him, and the room goes completely quiet. He later described the feeling like this: it wasn't just embarrassment, it was betrayal. Because this wasn't some stranger. This was the person he had chosen to be vulnerable with, the first person he had ever been that vulnerable with. He handed her something fragile and private, and she took it to a dinner table and let 12 people laugh at it. That's not venting. That's not girls' talk. That's humiliation. And the sister, she was so disgusted sitting in that room listening to it that she got up, grabbed her keys, and left. Didn't say goodbye, didn't make a scene, just left, because she couldn't sit there one more second watching her brother get mocked by the person who was supposed to care about him most. Now he's spiraling. He starts questioning everything. Was she always looking down on him because he was inexperienced? Did she ever actually respect him? Do all girlfriends do this behind their boyfriends' backs? Or is this something different? And then the physical insecurity hits him like a freight train. He, a grown man, admits he went and Googled images just to figure out if something was actually wrong with him, just to see if he was somehow abnormal. He wasn't. Of course he wasn't. But that's what her words did to him. That's the damage a few laughs at a dinner party cause to someone's sense of self. Here's where things get messy though, because his reaction, not his finest moment, he goes back to his sister and starts demanding she repeat everything, every detail, word for word. She's uncomfortable, clearly doesn't want to relive it, but he pushes. She gives in, retells it, and then says something that cuts right to the heart of it. Promise me, you won't stay with her just because she was your first. I've been watching you suffer all day. She doesn't deserve you. And instead of taking that in, instead of recognizing that this woman literally walked out of a party early and sat on that information for 2 days because she was trying to figure out the right way to protect him, he snapped at her, got angry, started questioning why she even told him, said it would have been better not to know, followed her to her room, kept pushing when she clearly wanted space. She finally swung the door open and yelled, "Maybe because I love you. Did you think about that for 1 second?" Then she called him an idiot, slammed the door, turned her music up loud enough to end the conversation, and he stood in that hallway alone, feeling like the worst version of himself. Because she was right. She had done something brave and painful and selfless, and he had turned around and made her the villain for it. He knew it immediately. He just didn't know how to fix it yet. He knew he had to talk to her, the girlfriend, face to face. He called her the next day. She picked up bright and cheerful, said she'd been waiting to hear from him, no idea what was coming. They agreed to meet for lunch, and he spent the whole meal searching for the right moment to bring it up, and kept chickening out. Then she asked if she could come back to his place for a couple hours before heading home. Her parents had guests over. He said sure, this was the moment. They're sitting in the living room. His sister is upstairs, music playing. He takes a breath and says, "Hey, I need to talk to you about something. Something you said about me to your friends." He laid it all out, the virginity jokes, the physical comments, the sounds, everything. Her response, "That's it? That's what you wanted to talk about? I thought it was something serious." She waved it off like he'd brought up a minor inconvenience. Said she couldn't believe he was actually upset over this. Then came the line that a lot of people have probably heard before: girls talk. "That's just what we do. It's not a big deal." He pushed back. Told her she knew how much her opinion mattered to him, that her words had genuinely hurt him, that he thought she owed him an apology. She gave him one. Technically. "Fine, I'm sorry, I won't do it again." But the way she said it, flat, dismissive, like she was apologizing to end the conversation, not because she actually felt anything. And then, almost in the same breath, she laughed, just slightly, just enough. She laughed, and something in him quietly snapped. Then she asked the question he knew was coming: "Who told you?" He said something careful. "When you say things about people in front of others, word gets around." She didn't buy it for a second. "It was your sister, wasn't it?" He didn't deny it. And that's when the whole conversation flipped. Suddenly, it wasn't about what she said anymore. Suddenly, it was about the sister, about how she always causes drama, about how she can't be trusted, about how she had no business revealing anything from that night, about how, and this is the line that probably sealed everything, if she actually cared about your feelings, she never would have told you. He tried to explain. The sister was protecting him. She was doing what any sibling would do. The girlfriend wasn't hearing it. She kept going, calling her a troublemaker, saying she hates when the sister is around, that she's always acting like she's better than everyone else. He stopped her cold. That's my sister. Don't talk about her like that. She didn't stop. And then, almost like it was scripted, footsteps on the stairs. The sister had come down. She'd been about to say something to him, some separate thing entirely, when she walked into the living room and saw the girlfriend sitting there. Everything froze. Awkward doesn't cover it. There was this long, heavy silence, a few stiff words exchanged, and then the girlfriend, apparently deciding that now was exactly the right time, turned to the sister and said, "What the hell do you think you're doing getting involved in our relationship?" The sister just stared at her, didn't even respond at first, like she genuinely couldn't process what was happening, so the girlfriend kept going, called her untrustworthy, said she had no business being at girls' nights if she couldn't keep her mouth shut, said she was always stirring things up and pretending to be innocent. He stepped in, tried to calm things down. It did not calm down. The sister's eyes went glassy. She turned to him, not angry, just broken, and said quietly, "Why aren't you defending me? Do you hear what she's saying to me right now? How are you still with her?" That was the moment. Not the original betrayal, not the laughing at dinner, not even the dismissive apology. It was watching his sister, the person who had sacrificed her friendship group to protect him, stand in their living room with tears in her eyes while his girlfriend attacked her. That was the moment he made his decision. The girlfriend announced she was leaving. He said, "Wait, I need to say something first." And he ended it. No long speech, no dramatic breakdown. He told her simply, "This isn't working." What happened this week showed him something about who they were together, and he couldn't ignore it. Especially now, given what was happening between her and his sister. She was stunned, upset, clearly hadn't seen it coming. She asked if they could at least stay friends. Maybe, but we need space first. They hugged. They kissed one last time. She walked out the door. And just like that, it was over. He went upstairs, found his sister sitting on her bed, headphones in, staring at the floor. He sat down next to her. No big speech, just an apology for snapping at her, for making her repeat everything twice, for not defending her fast enough downstairs, for all of it. She looked at him and said the girlfriend was right about one thing. Maybe she should just kept her mouth shut. He told her no. She did the right thing. She did exactly what a sister is supposed to do. "I broke up with her," he said. She nodded slowly. "Good." He asked what he could do to make it up to her. She thought about it for a second, then said, "Just smile more. That's all I want." Here's the thing nobody tells you about doing the right thing: it doesn't always feel good right away. He expected to fall apart after the breakup, expected the doubt to creep in at 2 a.m. Did I overreact? Was it really that serious? Should I have just let it go? But it never came. Every day that passed, he felt clearer, like he'd been carrying something heavy without realizing it, and the moment he set it down, he could finally breathe again. But his sister? That's the part of this story that quietly wrecked him. A few days after everything went down, he noticed she wasn't leaving the house, wasn't showering, wasn't getting dressed, just sitting on the couch in old clothes, eating chips, watching cartoons with this blank look on her face like she was trying very hard not to think about something. He asked her what was wrong. Nothing. He pushed gently. "Weren't you supposed to go out with the girls tonight? Same restaurant, same Friday tradition." She looked at him and said flatly, "I wasn't invited." Turns out, the fallout was bigger than either of them realized. The girlfriend had cut her off completely, and because she was the social center of that group, everyone else followed. All of them. Unfollowed on social media. Left on read, frozen out like she'd never existed. 12 women. 1 week, gone. Because she told her brother the truth. He sat there trying to process that. This woman, his sister, had watched his girlfriend humiliate him at a dinner table, felt sick enough to leave early, spent 2 days trying to figure out whether and how to tell him, finally did the brave thing. And now She was sitting alone on a Friday night while all of those women were out laughing and eating at the restaurant they'd gone to every single week together. That's the cost she paid for him, and she wasn't even angry about it. He apologized again, said he felt responsible, said he didn't understand how she wasn't filled with regret over the whole thing. She shrugged and said something he won't forget. Why would I regret it? You're more important to me than they are. I'll find new friends. Simple. No drama, no martyrdom, just you matter more. He didn't say anything, just hugged her. Then he asked where those girls were going for dinner that night. She told him, some trendy spot, their usual place. He stood up and said, get dressed, I'm taking you somewhere better. She thought he was joking. He wasn't. They got dressed, drove to a restaurant he'd never been to before, and he spent over $200 on one dinner without blinking. Good food, good music, no awkward silences, no drama, just a brother and his sister having the kind of night that actually means something. Her mood lifted by the end of the first course. So, what's the actual takeaway here? Because this story isn't really about a bad girlfriend. It's not even really about the things she said at that dinner, as awful as they were. This story is about what happens when someone shows you who they actually are, and whether you're brave enough to believe them. She showed him she could laugh at his vulnerability in front of a crowd. She showed him she'd rather attack his sister than take accountability. She showed him that her version of an apology was a shrug and a subject change. He believed her, and that's not weakness, that's growth. And the sister? She showed him something too. She showed him that real loyalty isn't loud, it doesn't announce itself, it just quietly walks out of a party early because it can't stand to hear someone you love get mocked. It sits on painful information for 2 days trying to figure out the right thing to do. It takes the hits, the unfollows, the frozen shoulders, the lost Friday nights, and doesn't ask for credit. That's the person who was in his corner the whole time. Not the girlfriend, not the friend group, his sister. Now, before you go, I want to ask you something. Because people are genuinely divided on one part of this story. Was the girlfriend completely wrong for venting about her boyfriend to her friends? Some people say that's just what people do in relationships. You talk to your girls, you process things, everyone does it. Others say the moment it becomes mocking, the moment you're performing someone's most vulnerable moments for laughs, you've crossed a line that can't be uncrossed. Where do you stand? And here's the harder question. If you were in his position, would you have stayed? Drop your answer in the comments. I genuinely want to know what you think. If this story hit you somewhere real, smash that like button. It takes 2 seconds and it helps more than you know. If you want more stories like this, real situations, real emotions, real decisions, subscribe right now. We drop new content every week and you don't want to miss what's coming next. And if you know someone who needs to hear this story, maybe they're in a situation where someone close to them isn't treating them right. Maybe they need a reminder that real loyalty exists. Share this video with them. Sometimes people just need to see it laid out clearly before they can trust what they already feel. Take care of yourselves and take care of the people who actually show up for you. See you in the next one.